welcome to May's Lug Life. I'm May, and this is my first impression video of the Gather Picnic Blanket. Okay, so, full disclosure, I don't do picnics. I don't even understand the concept. I don't believe in them. I don't understand the fun of having a picnic. I remember having picnics when I was a kid with my parents, but the overall, sort of the overriding memory I have is trying to shoo flies away from all the food, trying to pick them up and, avoiding the ants that would show up, things spilling all the time because they were set on uneven ground, and then having to gather everything up and put everything into containers, and it just became really, just always a sort of a to-do. Just everything, trying to gather all the bits and pieces when the wind was carrying things away and things were rolling away, and then you forgot this thing because you hid it from the ants. And anyways, it was just always it was always a lot of drama. And then it was like uncomfortable on the ground because like you didn't know how to sit, and where do you put the food, because when we were kids, we were messy. And so I don't know, I just kind of remember having not great things happen during picnics. I just never understood why we didn't just find a table. Or why didn't we just eat in the car? It just would have been so much cleaner and neater. So I've never understood picnics as a general thing. If for some reason, from here on out, I sound really negative about a picnic blanket, that's the reason why. So this might be a sort of a biased sort of impression of picnics in general. So I might not be all that appreciative of a picnic blanket because of that. So I just want to sort of put a disclaimer out there right off the bat. So that being said, let's take a look and hope that maybe Lug can actually change my mind, because maybe this blanket will solve many of those problems. I don't know, maybe, is it ant proof? Does it have a fly repellent on it, mosquito repellent? Because if it does, I'm in. I will definitely make a purchase. Anything that is able to do all those things, that would be great. So, okay, $72 is not cheap at all. That is a very, very expensive blanket. So like I said, yeah, it better be, like Family Feud repellent as well. Because man, there were a lot of fights when I was a kid when we had picnics. All right, so some interesting colors here. I see some old colors coming back, which is very interesting. So Shibori blue. I wonder, can we get a sense of? Well, okay. I don't know. It doesn't really give us much of a sense of anything. Okay, there's a bit of a picture there. I just kind of want to see what the scale of this was, whether they kept it really small or whether they sort of enlarged the print. It looks like they've enlarged a little bit to keep up the scale. That's kind of cool because it looks a little bit like water or something. It looks like sort of like waves of water. I've never been a massive Shibori fan because I'm just not a big tie-dye fan in general. But I do love blues, so I like the Shibori blue because of the blues. And I've always loved the interior of all the Shibori items with those the little flowers. I've always thought those were absolutely sweet. So, okay, let's move on to the black large dot. And there's no really unfolded version, I guess, of this. Again, I can't really get the sense of what the scale of the print is. I'm assuming it's not the same size as all the rest of the large dot items. I'm sure they must have made this dots a bit bigger, although who knows. Okay, the next ones here are confusing me. So black lime. Okay. So it's predominantly black and it's got just some lime trim. So the piping around the edges are all the lime. Okay. I don't know. I guess that's okay. And then, okay, so this is black sky with the sky piping around the edge. And then this one is the black yellow. Would that not just attract more bees and hornets? Would they not be like, hey, it's my people and come over? I don't know. Oh my god, the hornets and the wasps and the things that would come by. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm getting like memories of picnics past, flooding into my head here. Okay, so blush pink, that's interesting. Okay, I'm not sure if I guess, I mean, that'd be pretty. I just feel like, oh, things will spill and that's going to look awful very quick. Black, so bouquet black, that's back. We haven't seen that print in a long time. And bouquet blue has also made a comeback. It looks like a slightly different color. Doesn't it look a bit sort of more dark? And the flowers look a little bit different as well. Okay, so camo midnight. You know what? Why is that not clicking? I can even see people using this. Like, if you're a hunter, would this be something you could use, like, to throw over top of some of your stuff? Maybe? I don't know. So there's the camo navy. Cool. And then the camo rose. Again, these are colors we haven't seen in a little while. They sort of have disappeared a little bit. Seems like they've brought some of these back. Diamond navy. Meh. All right. Fog gray. Meh. Okay. Lavender. That doesn't, first of all, see the little swatch here? I thought that was white at first. But it's lavender. Okay, that is a terrible representation of lavender. This is fine. That's an unusual color. We haven't seen that one also in ages. And then lily gray, another print we haven't seen in a very long time. And navy, totally fine. And then, what is this? Rose pink. Wow. Again, there's a color we haven't seen in a while. Now, I'm just going to open this up a little bit. I just want to see, what kind of fabric is this? Like, is this I'm wondering if this is that freestyle fabric on this side, and then they've made this black liner part something different so that so it's a little bit easier to wipe and shake dirt off of. But I don't know if this is like that old, like that sort of a fabric they came out with for a little while for a few bags, and the ones that they made scrunchies and things out of. I think it's called freestyle. So I'm curious to know if that's what that is. I don't know if we'll ever find that out. Okay, so I'm just going to look quickly, I guess, at these photos. So there is the pretty side, the dark side, and then that doesn't help me at all. So does that come with a little drawstring bag, which is a great idea, because otherwise what are you going to do with this thing? So the fact that you can actually contain it in its own little drawstring pouch is awesome. What's that? Hang on. What just happened? Oh, is that just folded down? I think that's folded down. So this is like folded down here. So that's the interior there, and then you can see the blanket on the inside. Okay. I thought maybe it got a whole new cap. And these are just general pictures. Okay, so is there a video? Probably not. No, okay, just checking. So about, we love picnics. I don't. But we don't love blankets that are too small or take up a bunch of take a bunch of dirt and grass back to your place. So we created this 100% polyester, that's good, very easily machine washable, generously sized blanket for your next outdoor eating excursion. And for easy transport, we included a matching bag that cinches at the top. Bon appetit. Okay, cool. So measurements. Now, inches I'm not really great with. That many inches I start losing. So 55 inches by 78 inches. I don't know what that is. I need feet. So if I'm going to be doing it in this kind of measurement, so I'm not 100% sure how many feet that is. If someone's good at math, maybe you can put that below. I'd be curious to find out how much that all actually is. Okay, and then so features: drawstring fabric carry case. Great. I guess there's really not much more to say. Okay. Again, I would like to see, I'd like to feel that fabric and see how that would really, really stand up to a genuine, season of picnicking. I can see this being kind of cool at the beach. So it's almost like a not a beach towel so much, but when you lay down like a beach towel, for some reason, because of all the cotton loops, it will pick up a lot more sand. Because it gets stuck in all the loops, and that's because the whole point of the loops is to dry you off. So technically towels are not the best things for sand. You want something where you can just literally just brush it off and not have to shake it and hope that all the little particles come free from all the little loops. So I can see this being a good beach blanket. And yeah, I guess if you do picnics, that's probably a good blanket. I just don't know. And it doesn't say anything about being like water resistant or dirt resistant or anything like that. So, yeah, I would like for it to be water resistant or wipeable in some way. And even if water's beads off of it so that, it doesn't absorb into the fabrics, because I'm sorry, every single picnic we ever had, something spilt or something got onto the thing that we were sitting on. So if you can just literally wipe that off quickly as you're eating there, and not have to worry about laundering it at the end of the day and, try to scrub all the stains out of it, I think that would be a good thing. So anyway, $72 for something that really is just a blanket that you only use once in a while, I think is a bit much. Here's my thing. I would have, if you're going to make a picnic blanket from Lug, I would have loved that maybe they put a few, like that maybe it folded into its own pocket or something like that, as opposed to having a separate drawstring bag. So I would have loved if they had sort of MacGyvered a way of making this blanket sort of turn into its own pocket that maybe is built right onto the blanket that has a little drawstring. So you flip it in, and then there's a little drawstring at the top, and you cinch that closed. I don't want to have another piece sitting there because, again, you're at a picnic. There's enough little bits and pieces that are going to fly away at the next gust of wind. And so if you've got this other little bag, you're going to have to find that and keep that thing safe, while you're enjoying your picnic, and then have to stuff it back in there again. So I think I would have loved it if they had done something more sort of along the line of the knapsack, which is the little travel pillow / blanket that you have when you travel on the plane. That where it had a little pocket that's where you flipped everything over and it sort of went into its own little zippered pocket. So I think something like that would have been cooler and would have been much more consistent with what Lug does, because otherwise this is just a blanket. There's really nothing special about this at all, other than it's got Lug colors. Like, it doesn't seem to even talk about anything being specifically awesome about the actual fabric of the blanket itself. So yeah, so I don't know, did anybody get this? And if you did, tell me why, and tell me if you've used it already, how much you like it or don't like it. What the pros and cons are of this. How does it compare to other blankets that you've used in the past? Is this does this solve a lot of the problems that picnickers have? I don't know, because I'm not a picnicker and I don't plan on starting anytime soon. So those of you who do picnic, is this a good product to you? I would love to find out. So there you go. That is it. That is my first impression video of the Gather Picnic Blanket. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. I'd love to hear back from you. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time.